Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to Foundation Friday, where I am super excited to be sharing my thoughts and feelings with you on the brand new Dior Forever Natural Nude Foundation. I have been waiting to get my hands on this. It was available on the website, then it was pulled, then it was available, then it was pulled, and now it's had its worldwide release. And I hope it's going nowhere. So I've been trialing this out for a while now. I know exactly how it works best on my skin, how it wears on my skin. So yeah, I am ready to review. This is the brand new Dior Forever Natural Nude Foundation. And you all know how much I absolutely adore the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. Amazing for dry skin folk. I am really hoping this is going to be the same. You know I already know, but I'm keeping you in suspense. Let's do a little bit of bump on this and we'll get some on my face. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week, and I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. I would really appreciate it if after this video you've liked what you've watched, you come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack by clicking on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And just for a little bit of extra info, I do have dry skin. It does get quite flaky around this area here, but I also have an oilier T-zone. I wouldn't call it an oily T-zone, but it's oilier than the rest of my face. So that's just a little bit of added information for you. Let's do a little bump. So this is the Dior Forever Natural Nude Foundation. It's £39 in the UK and you get the standard 30ml worth of product. It comes in 17 different shades, which are supposed to suit all skin tones, but this is not their full range of 40 shades. And to be quite honest, I find this a little disappointing. I really hope they're going to introduce some more shades if this is a popular foundation. So I've gone for the shades 0N and 1N to compare. They are the two fairest shades. So I'm going to show you some swatches of the shades 0N and 1N, and I'm also going to show you the swatches of all the 0Ns that I have and all the 1Ns that I have in the Dior collection so that you can see that there is quite a big difference. So this is supposed to give a very natural luminous finish with no mask-like effect. It's supposed to be very lightweight and long wearing, and this is enriched with 96% natural origin ingredients, plus a bit of skincare with antioxidants and humectants in there as well to hydrate and nourish the skin. This is alcohol free, but it does have a fragrance in there, so just be warned, if you are sensitive to fragrances, you may want to give this one a miss. Okay, so I've already shown you all the foundation swatches. I'm going to swatch these on my face now and make a decision on which one I'm actually going to apply, whether it be the 0N or the 1N. So this is the 0N, which is my perfect shade in the Dior Forever Skin Glow. There you go. So this is the 1N. So I'm going to put these side by side. So at the moment, the 1N is definitely the one to go for. The 0N is slightly too fair. I could probably get away with them both and just bronze up the 0N, but we're going to run with the 1N today. So let's get rid of these and we'll get some on. So as per usual, I'm going to apply this side with a brush, this side with a sponge. So I applied a little bit to the back of my hand. This is a really thick, stiff formula, which when I first used it, I was quite surprised at. I was expecting this to be a little bit more liquidy, I think. I'm going to apply this as sheer as I possibly can with a brush because this spreads a long way, a really long way. This is also more coverage than I expected. With natural being in the title of this foundation, I expected it to be a little bit more tinted moisturizer-esque. I don't know. I mean, it looks beautiful on the skin. There is no denying it looks absolutely beautiful on the skin. I would say this is slightly more matte at the beginning than the Dior Forever Skin Glow, but it has more radiance. So I'm really, really liking this. So it has radiance, but it doesn't have a shimmer, no sparkle. I like that. As you can see here, I've got a little bit of redness. It's a spot, everybody. Let's, at the end of the day, let's not sugarcoat it. It's a spot, and it's a rather red one. And this isn't really covering it over. So if you have a lot of redness on your skin, this may be a problem. But yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. Let's see how it applies with a sponge. Like I said, I have been trialing this out for a good week now. But regardless, I want to show you everything. Because even if I'm not keen on certain application methods, you may prefer it. So you definitely get a sheerer coverage with a sponge, or I do anyway, but I am applying very, very little. Now, because this is such a thick formula, you don't lose a lot of the product in the sponge, so that is great. And I'm still managing to get a nice level of coverage, but not, you know, over the top. This is definitely not full coverage at this stage. I'm not saying it can't be built up to full coverage, but it's not full coverage at this stage. And it's not something that, you know, I prefer. So again, a few spots down here. It's been a stressful week. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been a stressful week. So first application, the side that I applied with the brush is much more flawless and yet still looks very, very skin-like and natural on this side. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. On this side with a sponge, I've got a lot less coverage, a lot less. You can see a lot of discoloration, you can see some redness, you can still see some broken capillaries around my nose. So for me, I really like applying this with a sponge. I think it's really fresh, flawless, it's very soft, still looks very skin-like, but it's slightly too little coverage for me, and I never thought I would say that in my life. But having seen this side, I much prefer it. Okay, so I've just added a tiny bit more coverage on the side that I applied with a sponge just to even everything out a little bit. I am loving this at this moment in time. Like I said, I've been testing this out for a good week now, so I knew what it was gonna look like, but it's just really, really smoothing, very natural looking. I'm gonna go and apply the rest of my products and I'll be right back. So that's the final look for today. I've kept it very natural, as I do in most of my foundation reviews and wear tests, because I don't want to be piling lots of products on top of the foundation that will alter the longevity of the foundation or the overall finish of the foundation. So let me zoom you in so we can look at this in natural lighting so you can make up your own mind up close and personal. So this is absolute perfection on my dry skin. I have a lot of dry patches around my chin at the moment, and this foundation has not sunk in or clung to any dryness at all. This also hasn't sat in any pores, any fine lines. It's just not moving. It dried down really, really fast. And considering this is a radiant foundation, I was quite surprised about that. This also is quite airbrushing, which is quite unusual for a radiant foundation. So if you are one of those people that really daren't try a radiant foundation because you maybe have large pores, this is probably one of those foundations that I would say would be quite safe for you. I just think it looks really skin-like and natural, and I can't wait to give you my final thoughts on this at the end of the day. So I am going to do quite a long wear test on this because for me, I feel like it's quite a long-lasting foundation. Obviously, everybody's going to be different. I didn't use a primer at the beginning of the day. I also didn't use powder all over my skin. I will tell you though, I have powdered my T-zone, which is the area that tends to get a little shiny throughout the day. I'll also tell you that this doesn't feel really super hydrating. It doesn't have that heavy feel either. In fact, it actually feels quite tight, if anything, on my skin. But just to reiterate, this does not have any alcohol in this formula whatsoever. And over the week, I haven't found this a drying formula at all. Literally at all. So I am going to do a wear test on this. I will check in with you a little bit later on. See you all in a bit. Welcome back to the check-in. It's now been just shy of 12 hours since I first applied the foundation to my skin. It looks good. It looks really, really good. Can you believe this has been on 12 hours already and it still looks pretty flawless? I've had a mask on today, everyone. A mask, and still great. So Wes got back in from work around about an hour and a half ago. It's about 7:20 here in the UK, so it's just started to go dark outside. And he looked at me and said, "Wow, you look really nice." And I don't get very many compliments from my husband on a daily basis, so when I do, I make the most of them. And he's so right. My skin does look absolutely excellent today, and I've not been able to stop looking at it in the mirror, and it's been the same pretty much for a full-on week. So let me show you this in natural lighting, because this foundation I've been trying on and off for 7 days has been one of the most consistent foundations I've ever used. I've got pretty much the same results every single day, apart from the day that I tried to build it up far too much and it just looked a little bit heavy and I didn't like it. So firstly, before I show you in natural lighting, I was a little bit surprised by the level of coverage that is achievable by this foundation. I think because it's got the word natural in the title of the foundation, and I think the word natural means more about the ingredients in this foundation rather than the overall look. Because although you can get a very natural, very flattering look from this, and I've hardly applied any today, you can also really build this up to the point where it doesn't actually look very natural anymore. So I do think that is more about the ingredients than the overall look. So over the last 7 days, this has been extremely consistently long wearing. It hasn't sat into any fine lines, any wrinkles, any pores. It doesn't emphasize my texture. Now, when I say that, I need to explain myself. Obviously, I have texture on my skin. I have a lot of dryness around here. And although you will see when I show you this in natural lighting that that dryness is more evident as the day has gone on, it hasn't gone patchy. It's not darker in areas than some, which is why I like it so much. Another thing I want to mention before I show you this in natural lighting is that my skin has felt tight throughout the day. This hasn't felt overly hydrating, and I think that also shows in the overall look of this after 12 hours. So although it does have that beautiful glycerin in there to hydrate, it's not overly hydrating, but very flattering on the skin. So let's just have a look at this in natural lighting. So you can see from this that all of the foundation is still intact. There is possibly a slight patch on my chin that's rubbed off, but you can hardly see it, and that's from wearing my mask today. Everything is still intact. It doesn't look overly shiny or dewy or oily or sweaty. It's just held up really well. It's also held all of the other products really well as well. So as you can see, I have my glasses on in the video, and when I remove my glasses, there is a little bit of the foundation that's gone a little cakey and lifted. But when I use my finger to just pat on the sides of my nose, that blends in beautifully, and you would never know. You really wouldn't. So I was very happy with that. So final thoughts. I love this foundation. I really, really love this foundation, but you all know that I really like Dior foundations to begin with. So if you already have the Dior Forever Matte, or you already have the Dior Forever Skin Glow, do you actually need this in your collection? Now, if you're a fanatic of Dior foundations, you will probably say yes anyway. This sits perfectly in between the Forever Matte and the Forever Skin Glow. So it's got a beautiful radiance, but it's not dewy. But it's also got a hint of that matteness in the sense that it will airbrush and it will just soften everything off. It's a lovely, lovely foundation. I am seriously impressed. A little goes a long way. That's all I'm going to say. Don't over apply it, otherwise you may end up in a little bit of a mess, but I really like it and I will use it again and again, and probably again. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.